Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games and our fourth Kill Team Fighter in Focus video. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be taking you through all the rules for the Commando Breacha Boy. Here's our ORK Commando Breacha Boy, another great model from that kill team that came in the Octarius box set. Great fun to paint. I painted him with contrast paints, and you can see some painted videos on my channel if you'd like to check out how I painted them all. In this video, we'll be using the core book as a reference, and in that we'll use the appendix section for all our critical hit and special rules. We'll also be using the Octarius book for our tactical ploys and also for the data cards. And if you're not familiar with how the data cards work yet, then please check out part 2 of my How to Play Kill Team series, where I go through everything you need to know about data cards. Okay, let's get started, and first of all we'll check the Octarius book to see how many of these Breacha Boys we can take into our kill team. And it tells us here in the list of operatives that we can have 1 commando nob and 9 commando operatives selected from the following list, and we can only take 1 Breacha Boy in our kill team. Now let's look at the data card, and we can see in the top left this tells us who our operative is and what they do. So we've got the Commander Breacha Boy, and the Commando Breacha Boys have the task of barging into places and enemies alike and smashing them apart with their breacher rams. It's one they relish, and those that see them in action and survive soon learn to especially fear these brutal greenskins. We can see we've got a movement of 3, and most of the Ork commanders have that movement. We've got the APL of 2, again most of them have got that. And then when we look at the group activation on the far right in the top corner, we can see they've got a group activation of 1, so he'll be activated on his own. Then he's got a defense characteristic of 3, so he'll be able to roll 3 dice, and he's looking at a 5+ for a save. So the lower the number here, the better. So a 5+ isn't brilliant, but he's got 10 wounds, and with 10 operatives in your kill team, each with around that number of wounds, it's pretty good. Now let's take a look at the different weapons, and the first one is the range weapon, which is a slugger, and he can make 4 attacks with this. The ballistic skill is 4+. Damage is going to be 3 on a normal hit, 4 on a critical hit, and the range is limited. So we've got a limited range there, looking at 1 red pentagon or 6 inches. Now we've got our close combat weapon, and this is the Breacher Ram, the weapon that this guy is known for. And here, you're only allowed 3 attacks this time, but the ballistic skill is better at 3+, and the damage is certainly better. You're going to deal 5 on a normal hit and 5 on a critical hit. And it also comes with the brutal special rule under the critical hit rule there. So let's have a look at what that means with brutal. I just took this clip from the appendix section, and it tells us that each time a friendly operative fights in combat with this weapon, in the resolve successful hit step of that combat, your opponent can only parry with critical hits. So that really is great. That brutal special rule is a real good bonus to have with this Breacher Ram, and you can see if he gets close enough, he's going to do some serious damage, this guy. Now let's take a look at the abilities for the Breacha Boy, and he's got 2, and the first one is called Bull Charge, and it says that each time this operative fights in combat, if it made a charge move during that activation, its power ram gains the critical hit rule for that combat. Now with this, I'm not sure if this Breacher Ram gets the brutal special rule for any attack, or only if it's an attack made in the same activation that a charge move was made. So I don't think it's very clear here. They've also called the Breacher Ram a power ram, so it's got like 2 different names, which is a little bit confusing as well. So I'm not 100% sure whether we can use brutal in any combat or only if we've done that charge. So if you know for sure, it'd be great if you could join in the comments below and let us know. This next ability is a bit more clear, and this is called Breach, and it tells us that each time this operative performs a normal move, dash or charge action, it can move through parts of terrain features that are no more than 1 black triangle or 1 inch thick, as if they were not there. So this is a great ability, so he can really push through those walls, through loads of different parts of the terrain, and really get to the enemy. So if they're trying to hide, take cover behind some terrain, he can just smash through it and get stuck in, and by doing that breach, getting close enough to the enemy. He may even be using his bull charge there, and so he could use that brutal with his breacher ram as well. So a great combo of abilities. Now let's look at the keywords. So we can see he's got Commando, Orc, we'll put his clan in those brackets, and then he's got Breacher Boy. And by having the Commando keyword, he's going to get access to an ability that's specific to the Orc Commandos, which is called Throat Slitters. And all the operatives except for the Bomb Squig will have access to this ability, and it tells us that this operative can perform a charge action while it has a conceal order. So I think this would come in handy for him. We can do that charge action with a conceal order, and then he can get close enough to the enemy, bash through some terrain. Now we've got the specialisms in the bottom right hand corner, and the Breacher Boy can have the combat or staunch specialisms, and these come into play when we do a narrative campaign. Now there's some great extra abilities that can be given to him from these combat and staunch specialisms, and in the staunch one there's one called Resilient, where you can add 2 to this operative's wounds characteristic, which would be great for him. And also in the combat one there's one called Inexorable, where each time this operative fights in combat, the enemy operative in that combat cannot be supported, and that would make sense narratively. He's smashing through with this huge breacher ram, so having support isn't really going to help the person he's ramming that into. So I think that would be a good narrative battle honour to get for this guy. Now we've got our tactical ploys, and there's 3 for the commandos, and these are Just a Scratch, Crump 'em, and Sneaky Git, and each one is going to cost you 1 command point. So I've picked out Just a Scratch for 1 command point that might be good for this guy, just to ignore one of those damage dice. But I also think Crump 'em would be good, especially if you can get him those extra 2 wounds from the specialism if you're playing narrative campaign. So if you used Crump 'em, you can use the tactical ploy at the end of the firefight phase, select 1 friendly commando, which would be this guy, and then he can perform a free fight action. So I think that wouldn't be too bad to use for him at all, especially with that huge damage of 5 or 5, and also with the brutal special rule as well. I think that'd be a good use for him. So that's the data card and the rules for the Commando Breacher Boy, and I'd love to know what you think about this model, what's your favourite part about him, and also just to really clarify that bull charge, if you know, that would be awesome. But who would you like to see next? I'm going through the whole Octarius book with all the data cards for all the operatives for both the Orcs and the Krieg, so let me know which one you'd like to do next, and if I can put him in that order, then I will do. If you like the look of these Orc Commandos and would like to pick some up for your own collection, then you can find them in the Kill Team Octarius box set, and you can also find them coming really soon in their own separate box, as well as the Veteran Guardsman. And I'll put links in the description below that will take you to Element Games, where you can save up to 20% on all your game products, and at the moment Kill Team Octarius is $106.25 with the discount there. It's an affiliate link, but doesn't cost you anything extra, and you also support the channel, so thanks so much for that support. I really appreciate it. I'll also put some links in the description below to Dovah Kruz, who produces custom Kill Team cards to save you flicking through the book when you're playing your games. But if you're already one of my Patreons, then you're going to get the Tabletop Skirmish Games version for free, and the link to download the Photoshop file is already on the Patreon page and on the Discord channel too. You can find loads of other videos on my channel for Kill Team and other games, and these videos include painting, deep dives, how to play, and many other topics. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm having a great time making these fighter and focus videos, and I'll be doing all the Orc Commandos and the Death Corps of Krieg, so look out for those coming really soon if they're not up already. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'll be great to see you there.